Hello, everyone. This is Claire at Student RDH and Dentaltoaster. Now, Ankur is from Cleveland, Ohio, and he joined us today because he has a lot of message for our new young grads in dental hygiene. Not that I can share everything with you because he's going to talk about his perspective as the dentist. So welcome here, Ankur, to be with us today.
Hi, thanks, Claire. I'm happy to be here.
I know. Thanks for taking the call when you are traveling and when you are, learning, taking just 30 minutes. Thank you.
Sure.
So Ankur and I met at a conference called the Dental Speakers Institute, but he's already famous. If you guys seen Dentistry Got Talent, you are the winner of that, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. And beside that, I think he's just an awesome person, a practicing dentist. And I know he has some things to share with us. So Ankur, tell us just how long has it been since you graduated and started practicing dentistry?
Sure. So I went to University of Michigan Dental School in 2000 and graduated in 2004. And my wife and I, we were in the same class. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time. We were in the same class. And then we got married right after dental school, did a residency together. And then immediately after residency, back then in 2005, we started a practice from scratch. And that is not very common anymore. Most dentists, they either buy a practice or they become associates, etc. For some reason, we were crazy enough to think that it would be a good idea to just start a practice. And tons of challenges. We didn't know how to lead. We didn't know really how to market a business. And now it's been 15 years. And we've learned a lot of this stuff, and it's actually quite fun because now that I'm an old guy, I get to talk to younger dentists and say, yo, here's the mistakes I made, and it sucked, and it really slowed us down. Okay. Don't do these things. Oh, and by the way, here's some stuff that we tried, and it really worked out well. Do these things. And so it's really nice to be in the position I'm in now.
All right. So it's been quite a while now since you had your practice then.
Yeah, 15 years.
Wow, awesome. And you met your wife in dental school?
In dental school, yeah. We were in the same clinic, same class.
Okay. Things like that happen, actually.
Yeah.
Some people that I knew too got married. It's awesome. So you guys practice together as well?
Correct.
Perfect. So my question that would be, since our audience is dental hygiene, tell us, okay, some of the things that you as a dentist, as the owner, appreciate when a dental hygienist does something. Like what qualities are you looking for?
So, okay, I'm glad you asked because I've been listening to your podcast and I wanted to make sure that the people who were listening weren't just hearing some dentist talk about how awesome he is, because that would be like of no value. So I was thinking, okay, if I were a hygienist and I was hearing a dentist speak, what are the things that would be most valuable to me? Yes. And that would be, okay, how can I be the most valuable hygienist for a dentist, okay? And I realized that there's a couple of things that really come to mind first, okay? The first thing is autonomy, and this is what I mean. All right, you're a hygienist. You go to a CE course, and in that CE course, you learn that when patients have dental implants, you should be doing a new protocol about a dental implant maintenance. And if there's perio around that implant, there should be a new protocol about how to handle that perio. And then if there's a patient who has just gingivitis but not perio, there's a new protocol for that person. And so you go up to your dentist and you're like, yo, dentist, I learned a ton of stuff at this last meeting. I really think that we need to fine tune our protocols here. Here's the problem that so many offices get into. The dentist goes, okay, that's great. Yeah, we totally need to do that. Now the hygienist is like, cool, so you got it? And the dentist's like, yeah, I got it. Because I'm the boss, I'm the leader, I'm the boss, I do all this stuff, right? And so the hygienist is sweet. Hygienist goes and does his or her thing. And the dentist now has this extra burden. But the problem is, so the dentist has this extra burden. And so the dentist will do one of two things, and it's only these two things. The dentist just won't execute that new protocol, or they'll do a super crappy job, okay? And the reason why is because it's not because the dentist is evil or lazy. It could be, But it's mostly because the dentist is just busy. I mean, we have our own like burdens that we have in our office, and then we go home and we have our own stuff that we got to do at home. And yeah, it's true. It's made it on our checklist, like redo the hygiene protocol. But if we do end up having the time to do it, it's not going to be based on the vision of our hygienist. Right. It's going to be based on whatever we interpreted the hygienist told us. And that happens a lot. And that's two people's fault. It's the dentist's fault because the dentist has never given the hygienist the autonomy to take on that challenge themselves, has never said, listen, I trust you. Now you roll with it. And in a month, I want to see what this new protocol is all about. I want you to present it to the team. I want you to make it so that it's seamless. Guess what? If the hygienist is given that autonomy, they do a killer job. Because it's their baby. They want to do it. It's their thing. They have the passion. What instead happens is the dentist doesn't do it or does a crappy job. And then the hygienist is sitting there thinking, yo, that was a waste.
Yeah.
You know, what a waste of effort. Okay, so that's number one.
Yes. And I totally relate though. I can, you know, I speak as a hygienist. I think there's always a gap here too. I'm excited about that. I learned about this. I mean, you're doing sleep apnea right now, you know. If, for example, implant maintenance is huge. Like, you know, I'm learning things. I took a hands-on course as well, but then I go back and I say that it's just not the same as the dentist being in the room and learning that. So we need to also own what we learn and be able to passionately share that. So that's one part. Thank you. What's your next point?
Okay. Point number 2 is photography. Okay.
Oh.
Here's what I've realized is generally the patients develop much more rapport with the hygienist. In my office, every new patient spends time with the hygienist before I come in. Yeah. And then of course there's just the 60 minutes of rapport that a hygienist has with a recall patient just doing their prophy. And this is what happens is, let's say that patient has this busted up amalgam on tooth number 30. If I come in the 4 minutes that I have to do that hygiene check, and I'm like, oh, look, patient, you have a busted up amalgam on tooth number 30. Man, that's crazy. We need to fix it. Then the patient, now the patient has this thought in their head, like, okay, it's not bothering me. The hygienist never mentioned anything. Now the dentist is trying to push this product. What we have found is when we've made it extremely, like a major part of the hygienist job description, to not only talk about that busted up amalgam, but to take a quick photo, and then make it so that when I come into the room to do that hygiene check, the patient is sitting up, they're looking at our TV screen, and it has this big old blown up photo of tooth number 30 busted up. They're staring at it. And me, the dentist, I don't say anything. I kind of look at the photo, and then I look at the patient, and I look at the photo, and I look at the hygienist, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And that's it. Oh my God. It's so awesome because I don't do any selling. I don't do any like, okay, well, here's why it's important and blah, 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 blah. I don't do any of that crap. It's like the hygienist has done all of that for me. And even the hygienist hasn't done that work. The hygienist has allowed photography to do all of the convincing for us. And what we have found, we've made it a protocol. Every single time the dentist walks into a room, there's a photo of something. Something. It can be the tartar on the lower linguals. A patient can have perfect teeth. Fine. Take a photo of their perfect teeth. Who cares? But the patient should be staring at something. And I'm realizing now, all this crap is so cheap. A TV is cheap. A mouthwatch, intraoral camera is cheap. When I started, all this stuff was expensive. You know, you had to get that awesome Nikon.
Oh, I know.
You
don't need that.
iPhone now, bam, get a photo, and then figure out how to put it up on the screen. Spend $180 on a TV screen and mount it to the wall. I can't believe how easy this stuff is. It just needs to be implemented, and the hygienist needs to be on board. So
I didn't see that coming. That's awesome. Just something simple, as you said. It costs investment $500 total, but it's like visual for the patient, for the hygienist, for the dentist. Everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Claire, do I have time to give a number 3?
Of course, of course. Oh, I'm really loving this because it's like valuable for us to listen also to the dentist, the owner's perspective, because as hygienists, sometimes we feel like, oh, he's not listening to me, kind of,
So
but
true.
right. I mean, my sister's a dentist too, and if she didn't have me, she would not know what hygiene do. Like she would not know what we learn at school. So,
Yeah.
sometimes we have to think about your perspective. So I love it. So let's keep going.
Okay. So the next one is about downtime. And
Okay.
what I have found is the greatest source of conflict in an office is downtime. That's the greatest source. And this is what happens. Hygienist is busy. She's running behind. Her next patient is here. That next patient needs bite wings.
Yeah.
Dental assistant had a no-show.
Yeah.
And so dental assistant is unpacking UPS boxes that have dental supplies and managing the storage and stuff like that. Then the hygienist realizes, yo, you had time? You had a no-show? Dude, I was running so far behind. You could have seated my patient, taken those bite wings. You could have helped me out. And dental assistant is like, dude, it's not like I was in the back smoking cigarettes. I was doing work.
I was not eating my donut. No.
Yeah, it's not. And I mean, so they're mad at each other, and they feel like their thing was an important thing, right? And the same thing can happen opposite, right? It could be dental assistant is busy and behind. They find out the hygienist had a no-show or a cancellation, and then they look in sterilization, and there's cassettes stacked up, and they're like, "What the heck?" And the hygienist is like, dude, my op I needed to make goodie bags. And I realized, I was like, dude, this is like a regular occurrence in my office. The conflict is not because there's an evil person and a nice person. And that's why the conflict is because people believe that their task has priority over other tasks. And so here's a very simple way to fix this. Ready?
Yes,
You create a downtime checklist that's prioritized. That's it. Piece of paper that's laminated. And at the top, number 1, walk up and down the hall and ask, hey, yo, I have a couple extra minutes. Does anybody need help? That's number 1. Number 2, you go into sterilization. You look, are the cassettes stacked up? You look, you're like, no cassettes. Yes. Then you do number 3, and that's, are there any ops that need to be turned over? And you look in, you're like, oh, sweet. All the ops are clean. Now do whatever you want. Go and unload boxes of dental supplies. Go stock up your room. Go make goodie bags. Go do lab work, whatever. I don't care. But what you've done is you've eliminated that potential for conflict. Now it's like, hey, the thing that everybody gets mad at you for, you did it. You went through the sequence. And yeah, in your head, you're praying that nobody says yes. You're praying that like, no, please don't say you need help. I want to do my stocking.
Yeah.
But at least you asked. And now that conflict is gone. Boy, has that been a huge, huge help in our office.
Wow. I love it. It's so simple though.
So simple. But
anybody can implement this. Is just everything you said is today. I can do that today.
You can do it right. Yeah, all you got to do is just get in front of your computer, type up your little checklist. We have a laminator. I don't know, man. These things are like $20 on.
But they're only $40.
They're nothing. They're so cheap. So get it on Amazon, and if it's an important thing, laminate it and put it up on the wall.
That's so crazy. Hey, I love that number 3 too. Can we go back to number 2 for a second? So, you said that, put up the picture, but you as a dentist, when you come in the op, what would you like the hygienist, I give you a summary of, like, she got 1 minute, what would you like her to summarize for you?
Can I tell you what I don't want?
Okay.
I don't care about the patient's home care. Don't care. Okay. And no dentist does. Just zip. Don't tell her. Oh, he's doing a pretty good job with brushing, flossing. Oh, but really he needs to get in the back. Don't even waste your time. Nobody cares. Okay? You had that conversation with the patient, and that's great. But the dentist, I'm not going to either reinforce, I'm not going to strengthen that convo.
Right.
So don't even bring it up. What we want is okay, this is what we want handed off to us
Yes.
as a doctor. We want you to bring up anything special about the patient's life. Oh, Hillary is going on a cruise next week. Now I'm like, oh, cool, I can ask about that. That's number one, something special about their life. Oh, Hillary lost her grandmother last week. She was in hospice for several weeks. Then I can say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Anything special, convey that to the dentist, okay? Number one. Number two is give us an idea of whether or not there's periodontal work that is necessary.
Okay.
Now, this is for the dentist gets nothing from this.
Okay.
But what it does is it allows me to reinforce your recommendations.
Okay.
Okay. So because see, you as a hygienist, you have that challenge of getting a patient to buy in to your periodontal recommendations. So if you say, oh yeah, well, you know what, you have these pockets, they're bleeding, blah, blah, blah. And then the dentist comes in and I don't support you, it really sucks for you. So you need to just be like, hey doctor, I was wondering if maybe you could look at the tissue between 14 and 15 and between 30 and 31, because I feel like I noticed some periodontal disease there. So now you are getting validated. Okay. So number one, special things in a person's life. Number two, validate your own recommendations by giving me the opportunity to. And then number three, talk about treatment that maybe we've recommended in the past and hasn't been done, or talk about treatment that you think might be important based on your photography or your exam. You know, there's this old school mentality. I don't know if you young people are bothered by this as much, but there's an old school mentality that hygienists can't diagnose, only dentists can.
Yeah. We still, you know, by law, we can't.
I get it. Fine. By law, as if you're going to go to jail whatever. Okay, here's the deal. Fine, don't diagnose. Don't say this is caries or this is an LS2 fracture. Fine, and don't say it. Follow the law. But take a freaking picture and show it and be like, I noticed there was a stick here, or I noticed there was a fracture here. I know there was something going on here. If you don't want to use the words, use some other words. Use some layman's term, but make it so that now the dentist is just saying, yeah, you're right. There is something going on here. Yeah, I think we should probably do something about it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. And all of that
has to be made. Don't just have the dentist walk in and rediscover.
I know. It's like, I'm going to do the exam again, you know. So, okay. As a hygienist, let me recap then, if that's okay with you. I'm a hygienist. You know, I have Amy on the chair, and I'm going to say, hey, Dr. Amy just finished college, you know, last week or something like that, you know. So that gives you just something personal to connect with, because we all need that personal connection. And excellent. I'm going to say, something like, you know, her tissue looks great, except for on the molars, there's some inflammation. You know, I'm suspecting that is due to home care, or I just want you to have a look at it, and there's some bleeding on, like, you know, and I can maybe point at like whatever chart that we have created already.
Now, Claire, at this point, have you already made a recommendation to Amy as to what you think is the best periodontal recommendation? So here's the thing. I don't want to make that recommendation. Because the last thing I would want to do is undermine your recommendation.
Okay, so for example,
if I said, like, Amy, I'm going to have the doctor look at this, but I think it's a good idea for you to come back in and have me do this procedure. Okay. But I'm going to have the doctor look at it first. Okay.
I see.
So now you are saying, you know, there's some inflammation. I'm a little concerned about that. I really think it would be a good idea for Amy to come back in for me to do 1 to 3 quads, or, you know, 4 quads, 1 to 3 teeth, and then periodontal maintenance. What do you think?
Okay.
And so now all I say is, yeah, man, that's a really good idea. Okay.
Totally get it. So yeah, we go straight, this is what I think, this is my recommendation. And obviously I already talked to that with the patient. And when you come in, you're just reinforcing that as a dentist, saying, I think that's the best way we can go around that. And then, our hygienist will take good care of you. But then for you also, what we discover for you, the dentist role is very different from the hygienist. That's
Yes.
what I learned from seeing dentists, working with dentists. And, a lot of it is restorative of, what you guys do. And we do a lot of home care and then perio things. So if I see something like, there's a suspicious lesion right here and I have the image here is perfect for you, you can look at it. And then this is when you come in as a dentist, because restorative work is not our forte.
No, it's not. It's not. But you at least, you don't have to make any recommendation.
Right. But
You're not going to say, oh, this is going to be a filling or this is going to be a crown or you might need a root canal. You don't have to do any of that stuff. But just say, hey, I'm really concerned about this.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really concerned. And then when the dentist comes in, just be like, hey, could you look at 14? I took a photo of it. Let me blow it up, put it on the screen. What do you think? And then have the dentist be in there. And that's all. You really don't have to burden yourself with learning what restorative options there are. You just need to make sure that the patient understands that you're concerned about something.
Right. Okay. I love it. This is so perfect. This is just the 3 steps that, I think has dentists, especially new grad, when we graduate, we don't know what to say. It's like, it's like there's a pause.
You don't want to overstep your bounds and you don't want to look. I'm telling you, gain that confidence. The dentist is going to be happier. The dentist is going to be happier. The less that we have to push, the less we have to sell, the less we have, the better we're going to be, the happier we're going to be.
This reminds me of like kind of, when you have a document to sign, like a real estate document or whatever, it's like sign here, 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 and here. And that makes our job easier. So we don't have to read the whole document.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
That's such a good analogy. So Claire, do I have time? I have one more thing I got.
Yeah, of course. Oh, of course. We're ready for you.
Okay, so here's what I've realized. Okay, most hygienists, when they are coming out of school, they are in their 20s or early 30s.
Yes,
okay?
yes, right.
And so they are in a environment of bodily. They're healthy when they come out. They're young. Their muscles are limber. Their mobility is limber, and as a result, they are able to withstand horrible habits.
Right.
And these are habits where they're hunched over, their elbows are up, and they're getting into this type of habitual professional work. Yeah, their heads tilted, and oh my gosh, I see it. Here's a couple of recommendations. Number 1 is if you don't have loops with a light, you got to get them.
Yeah.
The most inexpensive and awesome light is by a company called Lumadent, Lumadent. I'm not getting paid anything, but they're phenomenal. Okay. Lumadent, because it's inexpensive. The major companies' loops, their lights are great, but they're very, very expensive. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, get a saddle stool. A saddle stool is just it's not a regular operatory chair. It's a stool that pitches you forward a little bit and it maintains a straighter back. Okay. And you can get a saddle stool. Those ADEC and Hugh Freedy saddle stools are amazing, but they're very expensive. You can get one on Amazon. Just type in saddle stool on Amazon. You get it for $70. Okay. That's number 2. And then number 3 is that if you're, okay, actually I have number 4. So, okay. Number 3 is keep your elbows by your side.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, if your elbows come up, ask your dentist, ask your hygienist, ask people on your team. Just say, yo, if you see my elbows coming up and my head doing this, walk in, embarrass me, and say, get your elbows down. Because you don't want to end your career early. Hygiene is hard.
It's hard.
I mean, it's hard. You have to get in the right angle. That's hard. And you have to start with the right habits. Okay. Now, number 4. Okay. Two pieces of advice for daily maintenance. When you are sitting in your car driving to work and your head is smash your head against that headrest. Okay. Give
double chin.
Super ugly double chin. Yeah. Get those muscles strong right here. Get them strong. Don't allow them to pitch you forward. You're screwed when you get older. That's number 1. And number 2 is maybe at the morning huddle, make it so that your ankles, your butt, your shoulders, and your head and your elbows are all touching the wall, okay?
Okay.
And then just try to, I don't know, for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, work on your range of motion with all of those things touching the wall. And you're going to realize it feels really good. Like all of these random muscles are like stretched out and they're firing. And you're like, dude, I like this. And you might want to do it for a minute the next time. Figure out a morning routine. You know, it could be like some wrist stretches. It could be whatever it is. Make it, but it's just as important to your day as putting on clothes or showering or whatever it is. You need to do it because you don't want to be, you're young and you're good looking. You don't want to be in your 40s and look like this.
Yeah.
You know, that's not very good looking. You want to maintain that posture. You have a life that's full of like vibrance and energy. And man, oh my gosh, it's heartbreaking to see people. And don't look at your phone so much, okay?
I know your recommendation, Ankur. This is from his talk.
Get rid of all the social media on your phone, right? Because then we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
It's much better. Anyway, those are my pieces of advice. I apologize for talking so much.
No. This is awesome. I mean, you have so much to share. I'm so happy to have you. I mean, I learned so much being as a hygienist, what my dentist wants, but this ergonomic thing, I mean, it's real.
It's totally for real. I'm starting to see people in their 40s with that stupid looking neck bulge. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And they're 40. I mean, they're younger than I am. And it's like, whoa, we're creating a new species here, you know, like we got to do something about it. So
I do this actually after seeing your video, you know, you speaking, taking the double chin. I mean, who cares? I'm going to make my double chin all day long, you know? Yeah. That's what I do actually. Like if I don't have thing, I just put I just do this. Is that good?
We should Instagram, we should make like a hashtag double chin like movement or something like that, you know, to get
let's do that. Oh my God, let's get everybody on it. Our dental hygiene students would love that too.
Would that be fun? Okay, so Claire, I actually do have to get going.
Yeah.
Can I plug a little bit?
Of course.
Okay, so I want to let everybody know that in a year and a half in Columbus, Ohio, I'm doing. Can you see my longevity
seminars?
Okay, so in a year and a half, so it's June 17th through the 20th of 2021, so not this coming year. I'm doing an abundance, longevity, and happiness retreat, full day immersion. Let me tell you what I'm promising here. We're going to do all the practice management systems, you know, team harmony, profitability, blah, 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 that stuff. Every morning, wilderness hikes, yoga, foam rolling workshops, all about longevity, strength, stretching. Every night, we're going to have wine tastings where everybody gets to know each other. And then the food is going to be just outstanding. It's going to be high quality, real, nutritious, colorful food. That's the promise. And I mean, it's going to be great. I'm limiting it to only 10 offices. That way, I'm going to know every office. I'm going to know every person. I'm going to know every doctor. And we're going to be a community. It's not going to be a conference where you go to a hotel and then you sit for 8 hours and you get some crappy lunch and then you go back to your hotel room and look at your phone. It's going to be a full immersion retreat.
I love it.
If you're interested, go to my website. It's just BeBetterSeminars.com. Okay?
Yep.
That's number one. Wait, do I have a second plug? I don't know. I don't have another plug. That's my only plug.
Okay. You have your website too, right?
So yeah, so I am. I visit dental offices and I give little motivational, either half day or day long workshops about how people can have fun and enjoy their jobs and be profitable and be financially predictable. And so any dental office who's interested in having me speak, it's like my favorite thing in the world. And I really over deliver. I don't make it cookie cutter. I make it very personalized. And so anybody who's interested, man, I would love to do it. It's truly, it's a joy for me.
All right, thank you. Be Better seminars. We're gonna put a link as well, our description with you as well with this podcast, and I'm sure some people will be there. And I can promise you, if I don't have a conflict with the ADHA or something that's kind of around that June time
Yeah,
every single year, I'll get my sister to come as well. We're not one office together, but we have a lot to learn as well. So
that would be
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
That would be great. Oh, and then okay. It's on Facebook. It's just my name. On
Okay.
Instagram, I
Anchor.
don't know what my Instagram is. I don't know.
We'll find it. Don't worry. We'll find it
Somewhere.
for you and put a link there.
So tell you what, but yeah, go to my website, check it out, and
Okay.
see if you're interested. Okay.
All right. I'm so glad to have you today. You've been awesome. Taught us so many things. You're just an awesome person.
No,
And
thank you.
so many things that you taught us, dental hygienists. So I personally have more confidence now. And I have confidence that anybody listens to this, their game is going to be like 10 times now.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure. I love the opportunity. So everybody in Claire's podcast, you have a wonderful resource here in Claire. She's really looking out for your long-term career happiness. So I'm so glad that you tuned in. And I really feel honored that I got the opportunity to contribute.
Thank you. And you're looking out for the whole team as well. So, good job. And your wife as well. So
Thank you.
we are going to promote Be Better seminars for, that's Columbus next year in Ohio. June, is that 17 to 19?
17 through the 20. Well, on the 20th, it's Sunday. That's where we just say goodbye to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Claire. Take care.
And I'm going to work on my double chin.
Okay, do it. Yeah, do it right now. Okay, bye, Claire.
All right. Bye.